Dara, good evening. It's the end of November 2025. I'm afraid we're not in the studio to either look at my lovely old Chromecast computer or the Princess. We're here to discuss an end of term report for my Samsung Galaxy Pro 2 laptop. And let's get that in the picture, shall we? Here it is. So I'd like to sing this laptop's praises and also tell you why it is a sort of a flawed product, but let's let you make your own decisions. At the end of this talky bit, I shall append to the end of this video some extra suspend resume practical videos, and you can see why it's less than ideal. Well, let's start from the beginning. I used to be a Windows person, typically running Windows Server actually on even laptops, but recently I've migrated to the dark side and I typically use Apple equipment. One of the things I wanted, even if I'm predominantly an Apple user, would always be, of course, to have a reliable Windows laptop that I could test things against should I need to. In the same way as for decades past, I always had an set of Apple machines in the basement to test things against. People ask me Apple questions. So I decided that this Samsung Galaxy Pro 2 laptop will be the bee's knees, the laptop for me. And why did I decide that? Principally because it's a stunningly thin and light laptop. This is a less than 1.2 kilogram laptop, and yet it's a full 15.6 inch laptop. It's ridiculously thin, and the reason it's lightweight is that the body is made out of plastic, the back is made of plastic, and I don't think that's a bad thing. Now, the subsequent generations of the Galaxy Pro laptops are metal bodied, and they are significantly heavier, and it might seem like a small thing, but when you put this in your rucksack to travel with and walk with, it just works. It really does work. And because the laptop's so thin, it's an excellent travel laptop from the point of view of weight. And from an ergonomics point of view, this laptop has got a full-size keyboard with numeric pad, and that allows you to have dedicated page up and page down keys. So for me, that beats all Apple laptops, because with the Apple laptops, you have to press the function and then the up key and the down key, and it's so annoying. If you're just browsing websites, you want page up, page down. You do not want to have to press function and up and down arrows. So from an ergonomic point of view, it's great. Also, this Samsung Galaxy Pro 2 laptop has a fingerprint reader. But the caveat is on when I was using this laptop with multiple operating systems, once I switched to the Linux operating system and then back to Windows, I'd lose my fingerprint and I'd have to redo all of the fingerprinting. I don't know why. Maybe someone can tell me. But so I tended to be mostly using this for Linux for at least a year. And when I did go back into Windows to do Windows things, of course, it was very annoying. The other great thing about this laptop is it's got a removable back, this plastic back, and it's got removable hard drive bays. It's got 2 hard drive bays, and in fact, have I got any props? I thought I had the props. I'm missing the props. I have an SSD, an NVMe SSD from my last laptop. So my last laptop was a Lenovo laptop, and that had 2 SSD slots as well. I took out the NVMe hard drive from that old laptop. I removed the BitLocker protection before removing it, and that enabled me to put this previous NVMe hard drive into this laptop. So I could boot, actually one NVMe drive had Windows, and the second NVMe drive, which is from the old Lenovo laptop, had 3 versions of Ubuntu and Windows. So it was a very flexible laptop. So that it did all of that. So why don't I give it 100% review greatness? And the reason is because of suspend resume. And of course I've got to compare it with Apple suspend resume, which is always, and for at least a decade, and any Apple laptop that I've ever had, Apple suspend resume is totally flawless. You can close an Apple laptop, you can open it a week later, and it'll start in seconds. With Windows, you've got things like sleep, you've got hibernation, you've got fast shutdown where it pretends to do a shutdown, but really it hasn't fully shut down the machine. So when you start it up again, it starts more quickly because actually it's starting Windows and resuming the state of the last laptop by overlaying some of the start processes. So with Windows, you've got a few different options. And for the life of me, I don't know if it's the case with all Samsung Galaxy Pro 2 laptops with an i7, I think it is 1260p processor, which by the way has got, I think it's 12 cores and 16 threads. So it's a ludicrously fast processor. But the BIOS and the hibernation and the sleep just do not work quickly. They tend to work, but they work slowly. So with this laptop, I have it set so that when it's on battery power and I close the lid, it sleeps. When I press the power button, it hibernates. And when it's got the mains plugged in, it only ever sleeps. And the issue with this laptop as is that you can screw it up. So if whilst it's hibernating or sleeping, you close the lid, which of course you'd expect to be able to do at any time, sometimes it can't resume properly. And in the worst case, it actually corrupts its BIOS. And then it says, I've got to do a BIOS recovery. And this happens if I resume the laptop 10 times, at least 2 out of those 10 times, it screws up. And in at least one of those 10 times, I have to do this BIOS recovery. So you get this very worrying error message at the bottom of the screen saying BIOS recovery, and it's I don't know, recovering the BIOS from a backup BIOS, and that takes even longer. At the end of this video, like I say, I've got some examples of the quite lengthy resume times. I didn't manage to get a BIOS recovery on camera. But believe me, it's very, very annoying. I've obviously been to all the Samsung forums. I've posted on the forums. They're obviously user-based, so Samsung, doesn't really help at all. So yeah, I don't think it's just me. I have seen other people on the forums have got similar suspend resume issues with these laptops. So I'm giving this laptop away. So the lucky recipient will just have instructions to say, if you're going to use this laptop, shut it down slowly, or sleep it slowly, or hibernate it slowly, and then I'm sure you're going to be fine. But the resume from hibernation it takes 20 seconds, and for me that's too long. But for a non-impatient, regular computer user, I'm sure it's absolutely fine, and you're going to love this laptop. It's slim, lightweight, portable, excellent battery life, very bright OLED screen, full-size keyboard, USB-C charging, full HDMI screen output, and even a Type A here. So I think overall a superbly capable laptop if it wasn't for the suspend resume issues that I've had. Go and get one. I think they are cheap as chips these days. If you still want a 12 core, 16 thread, ultra powerful laptop, even by 2025 standards. Thanks for watching. So this is the inside of the Galaxy 2 Pro notebook. It's not the convertible notebook, it doesn't have the touch screen, and it's not a 360-degree rotating screen. It's the standard machine. you notice we've got two fans. We've got the NVMe hard drive that came with the machine. And the reason I've taken the block off actually is because I'm extracting the second NVMe drive, which I had installed here. In the BIOS, you can tell it from which drive to boot from and what order to boot in. And I told it I was to boot from this drive, and this single NVMe hard drive had 4 different operating systems on it. So I would either boot from Windows, in recently Windows 11 Pro 25H2, or I would boot Linux. And I had a variety of backup Linux partitions in case Linux went wrong. So it's quite a flexible laptop because you can change both hard drives. You can't change the memory, but you can get to the laptop quite easily, and potentially you could fix some problems, for example replacing the battery yourself or replacing the speakers yourself. So overall, by 2025 standards, I think this is a pretty serviceable laptop. This is a hibernation test. The power button is set to hibernate. Pressing the power button, hibernate the laptop. Fans off. Closing the laptop. Opening the laptop. This is the resume from hibernation, which I do not like. It's too slow. In fact, it's failed. We're up. Test of laptop sleeping. We're in battery mode. As soon as this lid is closed, the laptop should sleep. And when I open the laptop lid, it should reawaken. I can still hear the fan on. It's awake. Test of laptop sleep when the laptop is logged into. Just close the lid. I can hear the laptop fan still on. We're back. Hibernation test when we hibernate the laptop and don't give it time to hibernate before closing the lid. Press the power button, hibernating, closing the lid quickly. Fan stopped, so it should have now hibernated. Let's open the lid. Recovering from hibernation. It worked. Another aggressive hibernation test. Going to press the power button and close the lid and reopen. Fans on. Fans stopped. Open the lid. Quite where it has to dance to this kind of BIOS kind of startup slowness, I really do not know. Didn't recover from hibernation properly, so you need to completely restart the PC from cold. Shut down of the computer and then we're going to restart it. Very slow. Standard startup of computer. This is a cold startup. Sleep test whilst logged in. Battery power, closing the lid should sleep it. Fans on, still. So in this power mode and sleep mode, the fans are always on. They've just stopped. So now at purely solid state, the machine is sleeping. Let's open it up to resume. Fans are on. Resumed instantly.